Hello. For the next group, oops. Number 2 and number 19 that you had a question on. For number 2, this one is proportion. So when you're finding the confidence interval, which I recommend finding the confidence interval first, and then we find the margin of error by just subtracting them and divide by 2. So ignore these. That way they're out of our way. Okay, so for the first confidence interval, we want a 95% confidence interval around 2 decimal places, and then it says 500 people, a survey of 500, so that's N. 58% plan to vote for Mr. Smith for governor. To find the confidence interval, then we don't want the percent, we want the number of people. So of 500, 58% plan to vote. And that's what I did here. 500 times 0.58, 290 plan to vote. This part is the second one. It said 1,500 people, 65% support stricter penalties. So 1,500 times 0.65 is a 975. So this is for the second part. Now to find the confidence interval, go under Stat, over to Test, and down to Proportion, Z, and Interval, because we want the interval. And then we put 290 of the 500, and we wanted a 95% confidence interval. Go down to Calculate, and we get this. Now they wanted the percent instead of the decimal, so it's 53.67. Notice 53.67, and then 62, because we're making it a percent, we multiply by 100. 62.33. which is what they have here. So that's your confidence interval. To find the error, you subtract those and divide by 2. So if we take the 62.33 and subtract 53.67, we get the 869, and then divide by 2. So it's 4.3, 5, because it said 2 decimal places. 4.3. Now for the second part, it's 1,500 people, and we found the number 65% is 975. And so we go Stat, Test, Proportion interval, and then it was 975 out of 1,500. And I think we still want the 95% confidence interval. Yeah. And calculate. 62.586, which is what we have here, to 67.414. And then to find the error, subtract those and divide by 2. And you'll get the 2.41. The other one that you had a question on was number 19. Here it is. This would be the same thing. We have a news group. We want a 99% confidence interval for the portion of Americans who are in favor of the initiative. Of the 500 randomly selected, 433 were in favor. Find the 99% confidence interval. So again, it's a proportion. So we go stat, over to test, down to proportion interval. And then this one was 550 people. 433 agreed. And we want a 99% confidence interval. Oops, must have hit something wrong. Stat, test, proportion. Let's see what I did. 500 and, oh, I switched the X in the end. And X was 433. And this was our sample size, which was 550. Sorry about that. Calculate. And they wanted the decimal this time, 7424 and 8322. Now, notice the decimal's off a little bit here. That had to do with rounding, but I always go through and check that. So if it's a little bit off, let me know, because I'll go through though and check everything and give you credit. Now the next part, they're just saying if many groups of 550 random selected Americans were surveyed, then a different confidence interval would be produced for each group. About, in this case, 99% of these confidence intervals will contain the true population, because it's a 99% confidence interval. 99% of the time, the true population will be in there. The other 1 minus 99, oops, sorry, it should be 100. Or 1, and that's why the answer is 1. So 1% of the time, it will not contain the proportion. If it was a 95%, then 95% time it would, and 5% it would not.